Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. Stop, replayers. Don't continue to scroll. You want to hear what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about comfort zones and how life-threatening they really are. Now, what I need you to do is press the heart button, then press the share button to every group and page you're associated with. Because I know if you have never felt this way, someone you know has felt this way, where they were stuck in a comfort zone and they were afraid to get out of that comfort zone and to take a leap of faith. And so that's what we're going to talk about. We're definitely going to go over why we feel safe in the comfort zone, how to get out, and to become that overcomer that we desire to be, and become and live in our purpose, right? My phone fell. But thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you share to every group and page you're associated with. Now, you can scroll ahead about 40 seconds or so. We'll jump right into the conversation, but I am going to welcome a few of my live players that are going to be joining in. So and plus I'm going to share to groups and pages and, all that great stuff. So do me a favor. And if you don't want to wait with me, you can scroll ahead, because let me tell you, I'm going to motivate you to become that overcomer. I want to motivate you using biblical principles and help you understand the importance of stepping out of your comfort zone, because that's where the beauty is. And I want to help you do that. I want to be that motivator, that person that pushes you to the next level. So thank you guys so much once again for joining. Let's see. Let me share to a couple of pages here. Let's see. Right here. I hope you guys have had an amazing day so far. It is Friday. I've heard people say Freedom Friday, but look, I'm free every day, not just on Friday. So that's what we're going to talk about on today. That is what we're going to talk about. I'm just sharing to a couple of pages, guys, just to make sure I let people know. Sometimes it takes a few seconds for Facebook to say, hey, guys, the lady queen I am is on the live, right? Facebook takes a few seconds to say that. So let's see, about 2 more pages, and then we'll be able to move it along. And if I can find it. Now, I don't know about you. Like I said, we've all struggled with this thing called a comfort zone, not realizing that sometimes even the comfort zones are very deadly, could be life-threatening. I want you to think about this. If a seed never decided to allow nature to take place, and, because I want you to think about when a seed is planted, right? If the seed was never planted, it would not grow, would not flourish to become that amazing tree. And what I realized is when I was like, you know what? Comfort zones can actually be seriously life-threatening, And the more and more I looked into this, the more and more that I realized that, you know what? The reason why we stay in our comfort zone is the fact that we want to feel safe. If I say out of my mouth, if I say I'm the best motivational speaker, and I came to motivate, and this is what I do. I want to become the best. I want to, be the best author. I want to be the best cook. I want to be the best in whatever business that you're working in. If you say that out of your mouth, saying that I am the best, that means you have to back up what you say, right? So a lot of times people are like, you know what? That's a lot of pressure to have to back up what I say. And you know what? Not only is it uncomfortable, but already, whether it's been what people have told to me, or even just because of the way they made me feel like I wasn't good enough. They made me feel like, I wasn't worthy enough of success. They made me feel that no matter, even if I tried my best, that just wasn't for me, even though I had a passion for it. And I knew it was something inside of me that was crying to get out, that was screaming to come out. And it was doing that specific purpose, right? So even though sometimes we feel that because of what people have said, or because of the ways they have made us feel, we're afraid to step out of our comfort zone. And that's when I begin to think about the woman with the issue of blood. I want you to think, okay, she had an issue of blood, but a lot of times we have issues of the fact of the way we think. Our issue is the fact of the way we think. Am I good enough? Am I going to be what I feel like is inside of me? Am I going to grow to become this dominator of success? Am I going to, feel like I am enough? Am I going to disappoint people? And you get all these thoughts and negative things in your mind, not realizing that, that's what's hindering you. But I want you to think about the woman with the issue of blood, right? In that culture, it was not okay for a woman during her cycle to be out in the public. And because she had this issue for 12 long years, right? So for 12 years, she was supposed to stay out of the public. She was supposed to stay, away from people because that was the culture. But see, she had got so desperate. She had got so desperate that she was like, this is no longer okay for me. And sometimes you have to get to a point that whenever you're designed to step out of your comfort zone because you know greatness, you have to touch greatness. You know greatness is right there. She wanted to touch the hem of Jesus' garment because she knew if she touched him, she'd be made whole. And see, a lot of us truly know that if we begin to touch out the greatness that God has put inside of us, and once we begin to step out of our comfort zone and we begin to hit the greatness that we know is right there, then we'll have to keep it up. Then you know what I speak out of my mouth, I'll have to continue doing. And I don't want to make myself shame. I don't want to be shamed. I don't want to feel like I'm not good enough. But what she did, she reached out. She took a step out of faith because she said, listen, I've tried everything else. And you know what? And none of that works for me. So I got to be desperate enough to begin to step out, to begin to reach out, to say, you know what? This average, just being average is no longer okay for me. And you have to get sick and tired of your situation, sick and tired of yourself, sick and tired of the situation, what's surrounding you or your environment, and begin to change that and say, you know what? I know culture says that, culture says because I come from this type of background, or culture says because I've messed up so many times, that it's okay for me to be average, or culture says that I can't dominate in this field because women or even whatever it might, your age or whatever it might be, normally they aren't successful during this time. I have to step out of my comfort zone and say, you know what? I can't worry about what culture's saying. I can't worry about what people are saying around me. I can't worry about necessarily what my environment says, because you know what? God already told me who I am. He already said, that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He already told me that I'm good enough. He already told me that I'm great enough. But sometimes we get scared. Sometimes we're worried about if we'll be seen, because standing out in the front, right? Standing out in the front, you put yourself out there. That means that now I've made myself susceptible to judgment. And who wants to be judged? Because the more and more I put myself out there, the more and more people are going to look, and am I messing up? Am I doing great? And you got all these thoughts going through your mind, when yet you're saying, you know what, God, this is a gift you've given me. This is something you've given me. And the more and more I work at it, the better and better I become. And the better and better I become, you're getting the glory out of it. And so guess what? I get the benefits. I get the benefits and to feel success. Because let me tell you, success is an everyday journey. Every day that God allows me to use my purpose, I feel successful. Every day that he allows me to use my gift, I'm successful. And I'm not going to allow people around me or my environment or even the culture to tell me whether they believe I'm successful or not based on their own thinking. But see, a lot of times we have to understand that sometimes it's very, very uncomfortable. I want you to think about that breaking of that seed. In order for that tree to grow, the seed has to die. The seed has to break. And see, sometimes there'll be some things that's based that, is circumcised from our life, whether, or even dies in our life, if I could put it that way. Because I want you to think about when you're growing and you're getting a different mindset and you're not thinking the way you used to, sometimes relationships that you thought would be there forever die off. Sometimes, things that you thought you'd be able to hold on to forever disappear. Sometimes God asks you to release something that's not good for you. You think in your mind, it's good for you because you see right there, right in front of your nose, right? You see right in front of your nose. But see, God sees the future. He sees the future of everything. And he's saying it's not good. is not good because this, this is going to hinder you. This is going to, and so he tells you, or he allows things to happen to where there's a release and you're like, God, I thought this would be forever. Like I thought this was something that was good. I thought this was something that would help propel me into my next level. And God is like, look, I have greater for you. You just have to trust him. You just have to trust him and believe, because comfort zone, let me tell you, when you sit in your comfort zone, slowly your gift is dying inside of you. When you're like, you know what, I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to even stretch myself, because the fact is, you know what, it's uncomfortable to be different, right? It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because I want you to think about, no one's gift is the same, right? Even though there might be different motivators, no one is called to the same people. No one's called, even in the same season, if I could put it that way, to do the same thing. But, all of our gifts are different. All of our gifts are different. And so in order for me to step out of my comfort zone, I got to do something different. Well, see, when I do something different, that puts me out there for judgment, because what if it doesn't turn out the way I think it should? And that might be a good thing, because if it turns out the way God knows it will, it'd be better than the way I thought anyway. But we ask ourselves all these questions because, we want to step into greatness, because greatness is already inside of us, right? So we want to be able to pull that out. But we're like, you know what? It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable because now it'll be different from everyone, and that's okay. You have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that, because God has something great he wants you to do. You just have to trust and believe. Let me tell you, even learning to, motivate people, and even in the way he has me to do it using biblical principles, and, becoming that biblical understanding coach and that motivational speaker, and he's allowed me to become that author, and all the things that he's allowed me to do. And I'm like, okay, God, I trust you, because sometimes you feel like you're blind doing it all, because I don't know how this is going to look, because I don't see other people doing, and which is a good thing, because I can't compare myself to nobody, right? You can't compare yourself to anybody if you're doing something different. So he has you on a walk, and it's almost like you're walking blind, but you're holding his hand. So you're protected. You know that God has you 100%. So with that being said, listen, I wanted to tell you, you have to step out of your comfort zone, because if you don't, it could kill you. If you don't, it could kill you. Step out of your comfort zone. Trust and believe in the Father. Trust and believe in the Father. Say, you know what, God, with my gift that you've given me, you're going to get the glory. And then plus it's meant to help people. That's some of the core values that we talk about. Do you definitely need power from the Most High to begin to accomplish this? And then number 2 is, will it help other people? Will it help other people? So whatever he has you doing, and I might not know what it is, and, whatever it is that he has you doing, even if I didn't even come into your neighborhood as far as what the gift that God has you doing, even if I don't know, I'm not sure. Even if I don't know that, God has you doing it for a reason. He has you doing it for a reason. So you have to trust and believe that you were the one called for that. He needs you, not the sister next to you, not the brother next to you. He needs you to accomplish this goal. He needs you to be great at whatever it is that you do. He needs you to do this thing. Now listen, it's Friday, right? Normally I'd been going live around 11 p.m. Just because in this season that we're in right now, a lot of times those are the hours that people are just kind of sitting and thinking and unsure, of what to do, and, wondering, if they're doing great, if they're being great, or, wondering if God is going to help them out of this, so look back on this page around 11 o'clock tonight. We'll go back live, because we're going to talk about, it's kind of like we in our pajamas, and we're going to have a sister to brother, sister to sister talk, and just know that God got you 100%. If you change your mind, you'll change your life. So if you change the way that you think, your life will forever change. But guess what? You are your only limitation. You're the only one that limits you. Now, if this is something that definitely resonated with you, please share to any page or group that you are associated with, because we want to continue to motivate you using biblical principles to motivate you to become the best version of you, to become the best version of yourself, because that's what God desires for you, to prosper just as your soul prospers. So thank you once again for joining me. I am Shamika Willis, also known as Lady Queen I Am, and I will talk to you later on this evening. I love you, and goodbye.